Oh, great.
So this woman comes to Jesus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the truth of the matter is it's not her time. She is a decade at least too early. It'll be another, whatever it is, 12, 15 years before Paul will open the door to the Gentiles being
Correct.
having access to salvation.
This is true.
She comes to Jesus and says, I need a miracle. And he says, can't give you one. I'm on an assignment right now that only involves the house of Israel. You're not in that house. I'm paraphrasing slightly, but that's what he said.
Pretty much, yeah.
And she said, well, maybe you didn't hear me. I need a miracle for my child. And he said, I've heard it preached 100 times. Jesus called her a dog. Jesus didn't call her a dog. He used an analogy to explain to her how inappropriate it would be for him to break his assignment.
Correct.
He said, for me to stop what I'm doing and break the rules for you would be like taking meat from the master's table and giving it to the dogs. I mean, there's all kinds of lessons here. She comes back.
Man, she came back with a quick one, man.
And said, yeah, but even the dogs get the crumbs. He turns to his disciples and he says, you guys, I've been trying to teach you. We've been looking all over Israel for examples of great faith. Haven't found it yet, but this is what I was trying to tell you about. And then think about what he had to do to give her her miracle. He had to step out of time, out of the moment. He had to go 15 years into the future and pull her a miracle, bring it to this moment, and step back in time and give her a miracle.
This is true.
So I've always looked at that scripture. God is a father to the fatherless. And like this, you can't go back. Look, the bad relationships, the bad interactions or the lack thereof with our fathers and so forth, you can't change that. My father, I buried him 3 years ago. He was 77. It was never really good. That can't be fixed. But if Jesus could reach into the future and grab a miracle for this woman who was too early, it's not any harder for him to reach into the past. And while not be able to change the things that were done, he can remove the sting and the damage that it created.
100%.
And so, he can do that through current voices and mentors in your life and so forth. So, that's what we do. God's put a grace on us to build men. And somewhere in the process, usually in the early part of building men, you have to address the daddy issues, the father fractures.
Father fractures, man.
Yeah. I wish I had coined that phrase myself, but I didn't. I don't know who did, but
it's 100% true, man.
Yeah.